Hi everyone, it's the 3rd of May. It's a fair while since I last did anything. Yeah, just getting ready to steam this piece of wood. So I've lashed together as quick as I could out of anything that was available a little bit of a piece of kit to do the steaming. Nice piece of pipe that will take my my piece of wood and a couple of bits of gash stuff. This is my wallpaper steamer that I'm going to use, the end of which has a slightly annoying connector, excuse me, which I've had to make out of the ever useful and ubiquitous yogurt pots. I've made a little sleeve there that I can use to seal around this. There's not going to be any pressure as such, it just has to be tight enough to direct the steam through the pipe. I have given the pipe a bit of a fall. I don't know if you can see that. I kind of guessed that would probably be a good idea to let any condensate drain out of the bottom. I'm not sure yet. Ideally you'd put some pipe insulation around this, but I'm not sure yet whether that's going to be worthwhile. Once the whole thing's up to temperature, I'm hoping maybe that we'll just get kind of dry steam going through it. And yeah, so this piece of material, I'll try and do this on camera, slides fairly nicely up through that, up to the end. So this is quite a lot longer than it needs to be, so the end that's sticking out that won't get subjected to any of the steam won't actually, that doesn't need to bend anyway. It's only the section that's in the pipe that really needs to have any curve on it. I've got all my little levers, my little clamps ready to go. So yeah, so it's just a matter of getting the steamer going. I'll pop that fitting into the end of there and get the steamer going. Set the timer so we don't boil the bloody thing dry, and just steam away. I've got to work out how long I need to steam it for as well, ideally, so that's just a quick Google search away, I suspect. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, steamer up and running. I've got my steam pipey thing ready. I haven't plugged it in yet because I want to know exactly how long it's going to be in there for, the wood. Although I realise that's a bit daft because I'll know it's in when I put it in. So the first thing I'm going to do is get steam running through the pipe and get it nice and warmed up so we're not getting too much condensate coming out of the end, because I feel it feels like the right thing to do that. So here goes. This is going to, I think I might actually unplug it, because that's pretty ferocious. I think trying to screw a pipe on while that's going off is going to be a bit of a... look at that. Lovely steam. Right, I'll just pull that out. So I've pulled out the plug. Let it slow down a bit, and then screw me pipe on. So the other end of this pipe had a connector just like this one. I took that off, but unfortunately I thought it was the pipe, this was the pipe itself, but actually there's an inside pipe as well, so this is like an insulating layer. So in the end, I'm not sure if I showed you this before, but I used Jubilee clips and a couple of bits of yogurt pot to sort of form, if you imagine 2 bits of yogurt pot sort of wrapped around it and then Jubilee clipped on, so hopefully that'll do the job. But we'll find out now, I guess. It depends if the yogurt pot can take the temperature. I'm sure it probably can. Right, let's put our little plug back in, if I can do that. Sorry. Right, away we go. Right, let's see if we're getting steam. It's making a steamy, gurgly noise. That's positive. Sorry, almost what? Ooh. So what I'm expecting to start with is water. More gurgling. More gurgling. Not feeling anything coming out at all at the moment. I guess it has to build up a little bit of pressure. Am I getting steam? No. Oh, hello. Hello. I can hear steam. Ah, yes, look. That's interesting. It's cooled by that's kind of been cooled by the pipe. It's actually steam flowing downwards. That's really curious. So that's, well, it's not steam, that's actually water vapor. Now look at that. I guess as it gets warmer, it will there you go. Now it's starting to rise because I guess the ambient temperature of the water and the water droplets has gone up. Look at that. I've never seen that before. So there we are. Oh, and there's some condensate. You know what? I'll be a sensible person and put something under that. Another yogurt pot. Right, there we go. So I'm going to, oh god, sorry, fogged up my little lens. Let's see if I can clear that. Okay, I'm going to let that run for a little while until that dripping slows down. I should probably insulate the pipe, but I haven't got anything to hand and I think it'll probably be fine. I reckon it'll probably slow down as the pipe warms up, so I'm getting steamed up again. Alright, well I'll stop there and then bring you back in when I've when I'm popping the wood in. Okay, it's coming up on 9 o'clock, wood is going in. And then I'm going to remind myself, I'm trying to do this on camera, difficult, here we go, come on. Here we go, slidey, 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 all the way, there we go, not too far, right. So, wood's in, about 9 o'clock. I've got my gloves somewhere, I'll go and find my gloves so I'm ready. And leave that for about half an hour I think. Hi everyone, so this was my first attempt at steam bending. Not fabulously successful. I tried to film it but my phone was playing up, wouldn't let me save anything down due to lack of storage apparently. So yeah, it's come out okay. It's bent. It was straight and it's definitely bent. It didn't come out quite as flexible as I was expecting it to. So I popped it in the jig and clamped it in. I was going to try and show you that, but I couldn't. Yeah, left it, and then it came out like this, which it hasn't got enough curve in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have another, probably with this one, I'm going to get it into, steam it again and see if I can improve on that curve. I mean, ultimately what's going to hold the shape are the sort of various connections to the main frame where it meets the various parts, and also it's going to be skinned as well with ply, which I think is probably going to be the ultimately the thing that really holds it in position. But yeah, I'm going to try and steam some more bend into it so that the amount of work that the framework has to do to keep it into the right position is minimal. Anyway, so I'm going to have another go there. I'm using the same system, steamer. I've insulated the pipe with towels, as you can see. Trying to maintain a higher temperature in there. I was getting quite a lot of condensate coming out, so I'm just wondering whether in fact we were going from, you know, I mean none of it's dry steam, but you know, dry or damp hot steam to relatively cool steam as it exited the pipe. So I'm going to try and see if I can retain more heat in the actual tube itself, and I'm going to give it a little bit longer before I pop it out. Probably give it about an hour steaming, and then pop that in and see if that's made a difference. So I guess that's probably what you will see next once I've got everything set up and running. Hi everyone, it's the 20th of May, so time has moved on again. Back on the steaming angle. I did manage to get a bend into this piece of wood. Not enough. I think it's probably evident to anyone who's tried to do this, is that steaming something and then fitting it into into the position it needs to be in when after it has dried is not very sensible, because it's going to spring back, so you're not going to end up with what you're looking for. the wood isn't that floppy. So, and furthermore, it won't now go back into my copper tube, which is fine, because I've got a new approach involving this. The majority of the curvature is happening kind of around this portion anyway, and I can, if I'm careful with I can feed this in to this fairly successfully, and just steam, I think just try and steam the middle part, and then I am going to put some kind of blocks on the table to over bend around the center, and see if we can get something close to what we need. I think if I do that, I think I'm kind of going to have to do it just by feel, but sometimes that can work out quite well. So that's what I need to do. Step one, make a couple of end stops, holes in there for the piece of material to go through, and a hole to admit steam from the steamer, and we'll take it from there, and probably some pieces of material underneath just to hold it off the table. So I'll just make up those bits and pieces, and I'll bring you back in when I've done that. I can turn the radio on then and listen to some sounds. Alright, see you in a minute. And radio off. So here we are. This is what I've come up with. Got my piece of tube. I made a couple of wooden end pieces with a hole for the, you can just see, for the work to pass through. This is just a bit of scrap copper pipe with an elbow in it that I've kind of jammed in there, and used some white tack that I had left over just to make some kind of a seal. Hopefully that'll work. I just folded that and formed it into a bit of a sort of more of a cone, so I can fit the end of the steamer onto it without damaging the internal threads of the plastic, because I want to keep using it to take wallpaper off one day. So that's good. I'll just sort of wrap some tape around that. Other end, we've got the other hole for the work to come out of, and a little weep hole for the condensate and the excess steam. Right, so someone's just calling me, so I better go off now. I'll just set it up then, and we'll have a look at it. Right. So I'm back. Yeah, just a call from my brother. So what I've done as well. So that was that. So we got the steam bit, got the weep hole. That just set that up on a bit of a slope, hanging over the edge of the table, so that I can collect the drips. That's all good. Now I need to overbend this. So what I've done is I've sort of fudged around my original setup. I can restore it, but I've taken a few of the little blocks out, and I've retained a couple, but I've actually flipped them around. And then I'm going to give this a decent, so you can see I'm giving it a really decent amount of curvature there. And I think this is about the right place to push to get what I need. I mean, this is really an inexact, it's an inexact science really. I think I'm just going to have to do my best, and then hope, in a sense, hope that the structure holds everything in the right place. I mean, there'll be a ply skin over the top of this, which when that is fabricated and ready, if I can force this into the right shape, even if it's a little bit out, if I can get it into the right shape, then before I glue the skin on, the skin will then hold this in the correct position. So I mean, by bending it, really, we're just trying to take I think, in my view, we're just trying to reduce the amount of work that the surrounding structure has to do to a minimum. He said, I don't know, send me a reply in the comments and tell me that I'm going to kill myself. But so I'm going to get that into the steam box that I've made. I've marked it. There's a mark there and a mark there. So that's the bit that I'm going to steam, and that's the bit where I'm going to try and put the most bend in. I just need to fit one of this back into an appropriate position. Actually, I might move it that way. See, part of it's just sort of getting a feel for what it's going to do and where it wants to bend the most, really. There's going to be a bit of mucking about, and I won't inflict that on you. So I'll get that little sort of pseudo frigged jig into position, and then we'll get the steam on the go and give it an hour and see how we get on. Right, see you in a bit. Alright everyone, Monday the 23rd of May. This one's been sitting in its overbent condition for a while now. I'll pop it out, and actually it is a very good approximation of what it needs to be. I need to refit some of the blocks, but yeah, so I think I'm going to call that, yeah, it needs to be a bit more, needs a bit more there, but once it's in its, yeah, maybe a little bit more there, once it's in the right position, I think actually I need to move it slightly, but once it's in its right position I think it's going to be fine. Because I think essentially it's going to be held in place by this point here, this point here, this point here, this point here, sorry, here, here and here. So it's got plenty of support, plus the skin on the outside. I think we should be good to go. I've got one more of those to do. My steam box is still here. It's not squidgy anymore. Didn't expect it to go squidgy, but there you go, you live and learn. I think that's good for one more go, which I'll use to steam the other part that I've started off in the same way. A little bit of wastage at each end, maybe, I don't know, maybe not too much at that end actually, only lose about that much. And then here we'll have that will be usable somewhere, so not feeling too bad about it. Right, I'm going to leave this one there, so it's been a bit disjointed, apologies for that, but I've had to do it over a number of days because I have to do everything over a number of days because I've got lots to do. And yeah, thanks for watching if you have been, and take care. See you on the next one, I guess. Bye now.